Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Strap yourself in because we're set up, switched on and ready to go.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
Good evening, fellow Fox fans. How the devil are we? Live? I hope you still are after last night. I tell you what, I wasn't expecting that. But we're not here to talk about England. Well, not much probably. We're here and we've been making signings. And now people are saying we're going to lose somebody. And not just anybody. Marc Albrighton. Apparently, Burnley are interested in him. Now, no disrespect to Burnley. You know, I lived there for 20-odd years. And I remember man and boy going down and watching them play. But I have to talk about it. My therapist told me it was good to talk about it. So, but Marc Albrighton to Burnley? Could it be?
Unbelievable, Jeff.
I think it is. Hey, only one way to find out what the truth is. We'll get the Burnley fan in. The guy is a great laugh. You've seen him before. You'll recognise him. We'll make the most of him while he's here because he has to probably be nipping off in a few minutes to empty his bladder still from last night. Dan, how are you doing, mate?
I'm all right. The head's clearing up now. So yeah, hangover's sort of on the back burner. I'm getting there. But what a result last night. What a result.
Hey, we've got to talk about it very, very quickly. And I know you were saying before it was quite a bit of a journey for you to get to watch it. But we're getting stronger. We're doing a Germany.
Yeah, it's strange. The tournament itself, I thought we were sort of playing quite defensively, and when we were, it weren't. It was almost that football, like I say, that helped win Leicester the league. The sort of football that helped Burnley achieve a European position. These nicking games 1 or 2-0 here and there, but yesterday was just where that came from. I mean, I think I said it on the podcast that you were doing when you came on, man. When we said about, I think I said we need to kill him early, and we did.
Yeah.
And we did. Three
if you were
minutes
stuck on
in,
the toilet, mate, when that you'd have missed the kickoff and the goal.
Luckily, I think after Maguire's header, I was busting, but I didn't get off my seat. I didn't get off my seat. I was just watching. I couldn't move away. It was just so entertaining to watch. I don't even think Southgate would have expected it, but the true test is on Wednesday. I think you can't rule out the Danes really with everything that's gone on in this tournament, but
they are riding on emotion, and it's how long that emotion lasts. But hey, we're not here to talk about England too much. We're here to talk about a certain Mr. Albrighton. This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Get us on, which is up there somewhere. YouTube, Leicester Till I Die TV. Give us a subscribe if you're on that channel. Twitter at Leicester TID. Facebook, Leicester Till I Die, the group. Dan, give us your socials.
Yeah, so we've got at Turf Moor-house, which you can all under the same name on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We are going to look at some other platforms, maybe getting out there on Spotify and things like that. But for the moment, just stick to what we know, what we can handle. And yeah, it's all under at Turf Moor-house TV. We're not just going to do Burnley content. As I say, we have got a few bits of Euro stuff. So yeah, last thing I'm going to say on England is it's coming home.
Well, I did say the other night, put the welcome mat out. We might be having a visitor. And you always know when you're on dance chat because you hear the burps every 5 minutes. It's like a cuckoo clock, so it goes off. I'll have a chat with you after if you want, because I do Spotify, so I can have a chat with you about that if you
definitely
want any pointers. But the news breaking today, and you could argue that, well, it's the Sun, and should we believe that? Lancs Live have got it on their website as well. But the Sun, it's part of the same people that own Sky, so you can't dismiss them. And Albrighton is in the last year of his contract. And I was asking you before, would you take him?
Yeah, I would. I think obviously last season he didn't get a lot of game time, but he's still got a lot to give. And I think at 31, you are probably at the pinnacle, back end of your career, but at your highest peak.
Yeah.
This is where, if he wants to still stay around the Premier League, he needs a bit more game time. Now, he's probably going to get that at us because, one, he fits that age bracket, because we like going in for players that are about to, cash the pension in. And
we've been there, mate, years ago.
and the thing is, though, he was a decent player at Aston Villa. And I rated him back then. But he went to Leicester in the first few years. I don't think it really maybe it was an adapting period. But after that, he just came on leaps and bounds, and it was very difficult to sort of take him out the side. I think there were one season where he was probably like the brightest spark in the team.
It was weird because, for whatever reason, Villa let him go on a free, which was like, thanks very much, Villa. He's up there with, when we were talking the other day about our signings, our best ever signings for what we paid. He was in the top 5, but he will admit himself that when we get a new manager in, and we've gone through a few managers, recently, I'm not going to lie, it does take a while for the new manager to kind of get used to how he is, get used to him, and he doesn't always get picked first of all. But once he is picked, he's in there. Now, I can remember the season before we won the Premier League, which is that just there behind us, just in case you're wondering.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Hey, you had a few in your time, maybe not the Premier, but you've had a few top flight wins. But and I don't know, I'm not old enough to remember, but we had the Great Escape year. And for some reason, the season before when we got promoted, you could predict Nigel Pearson's team 4 or 5 weeks in advance. It was the same week in, week out. Get into the Premier League, and he was changing it he was basically the Tinkerman before we got Ranieri in. And he never picked Albrighton. And there was rumours about, his wife was sort of sending possible messages out on Twitter, a la, Rebecca Vardy and Colleen Nolan. Not Nolan, I keep saying Nolan, Rooney. But once he picked him, it almost turned our season round.
Yeah, I think that's the sort of player you want. And I think when you look back at the sort of player that he's been, it sort of speaks for itself that, as you say, he's come on, he's turned the season around. That's the thing, though. Take that comment into account. Brendan might love him, but then it's a case of down to the player now. The player's 31 years of age in the last year of his contract, and he'll want regular football. Yeah, he's at that point in his career. He's probably going to get that because our wingers are constantly injured. We've got Goodmanson that's literally flits in and out with injuries. The only pretty much ever stay that we've had last season was Dwight McNeil. And he's the only left-sided player we've got now. Robbie Brady's left on a free. We've for wingers, we've been having to play Josh Brownhill out on the right because he's a central midfielder. We did it with Jeff Hendrick. We had to put Jeff Hendrick out on the right because we were short of wingers. Hope you're well, Doug.
Yeah, Doug.
And he just we need somebody. He's got a bit of pace behind him as well, Albrighton, I think.
He has, and he can still put the cross. I mean, he should have played for England, and
Yeah.
I'm just laughing at Rich's comment there. He should have played for England, and he played for them at sort of youth level. But maybe had he been playing for Man United or Liverpool, he may have done. But yeah, he could cross the ball, and since we lost Mahrez, and we've kind of got Albrighton in. We tried Under last season, and he was like over and out. He really was. And if you look at the way he's played with Turkey in the Euros, you can see why we haven't signed him. Good luck at Marseille Under. But, he is 31 now. I mean, there's him, there's Vardy, there's Schmeichel. I think that's about it from the championship winning team, to be honest with you. And he's getting on a little bit. Whether he could do a full season, I don't know. But we haven't got the cover in that position, and that's the worrying thing. We've made 3 signings. And the third one hopefully through the door tomorrow. Ryan Bertrand. I keep wanting to make him French. Ryan Bertrand. Make him sound better than he is. Ryan Bertrand tomorrow. It's Southampton. It's nearly in France, isn't it? But we haven't got that cover on that right wing. As I said, we didn't get Under. We've lost Mahrez. We've got Gazelle, and he doesn't, he runs like a bloody tortoise, and he's useless. The new Mahrez never was. That's my worry if we let him go to you, is that, we've got Piera, who will probably play up into that position because we've got Castagna behind him, but I don't think we'll let him go before we've got anybody extra in, and I don't know whether we can afford to get anybody extra in after what we've already spent.
Yeah, it is a strange one. I mean, I don't know whether can Patson Daka play outright.
Don't take me there, because I get absolutely. This is what annoyed me. We had a great signing, Musa, Ahmed Musa, and he was a great signing. He was going to be possibly be the Vardy replacement. Excuse me 1 second, just. Who knows? And he was played out on the right wing, but he wasn't. He was a striker.
Yeah.
And to my mind, if you're buying a striker, don't stick him out on the right wing. Gary Lineker, when he was at Barcelona.
Glad you said this. I'm glad you said this, because I've been fed up with it from Burnley down the years.
Yeah.
We did it with Jay Rodriguez in his first time. That was the same.
Yeah.
We ended up putting him he went playing out on the left. And then you saw the same with Rodriguez when he went to Southampton. He was playing like a left-sided forward. But we did it with him. We did it with Martin Patterson. We did it with Kyle Lafferty. We did it with, as I say, we've done it with central midfielders.
Yeah,
I'm fed up of us sticking, attacking-minded players out on the side. I don't think it is. I think at the minute Aston Villa are dipping their toes in everybody's bloody backyard at the minute, aren't they? And they're trying to.
That's not a euphemism for something.
Yeah, well,
but yeah, it is. I mean, it's like Roy Hodgson, and I those two words stick in my throat. But the guy that had Kane on corners also had Vardy on the left wing, and he comes in from the left, but he is still a striker. And Musa, we let him go, and I think that was a shame, because I think he could have done something if we'd kept him, because. If he'd been played in the right position. So I don't want to see Daka come and Daka put on, that right wing. And we're going to be fighting on 4 fronts next season, because we've got the Premier League, the FA Cup, which we'll be defending, because we won that as well. Just drop that in. We've got the League Cup, and then we've also obviously got the Europa League. So when you've got those 4 trophies we're going for, and we found out, as a lot of teams did this year, injuries can really, really hit you. And hopefully we'll almost be a little bit back to normal next season. But he's going to get games with us, because we do know we've got all those What's what I'm looking for? We've got all those games coming up. So he is going to get the games with us, not maybe week in, week out. But do you think at 31, I mean, I don't even see Vardy playing week in, week out now. They get an injury and it takes that bit longer for them to come back as well.
Yeah, it's a dangerous time of your career, isn't it? You know, your legs you feel a bit sort of like, is this it? You know, you're at that point where one injury could just make you doubt whether you should call it, call your career there. Yeah. It's tough because, I mean, we've got Matt Lawton in our side, obviously, who has previous with Villa. He was only a young lad at Villa, probably around that same time that Albrighton were probably there.
Yeah.
So is some pulling power with that? You know, it's basically to ask questions of, what's it like? Will you enjoy it, sort of thing. But I actually think it's a good, decent. It strikes me as a Burnley signing.
Well,
really.
Just looking what it says on Lancs Live here, it says the Clarets are on the hunt for midfield additions, and Albrighton would fit the Sean Dyche mould without breaking the bank. Leicester would be loath to part with a player. He did make 42 appearances in all competitions, a lot from the bench. Indeed, Fox's boss, Brendan Rodgers, proclaimed his love for the player at the end of the season. Not like that. Suggested a new contract could be in the offing. I love everything about Marc, Rodgers said about the player. He prepares himself immaculately. He's in Brighton early, getting prepared for his training. He's old school. And I just think, a bit like Jamie Vardy, both of them are at that stage, similar sort of ages. And I can't see Albrighton starting many games for us unless we, like I say, get a lot of injuries. But let's say we're playing Burnley and, we've played sort of 75 minutes. Your defence is getting a little bit tired. We bring on Albrighton for the last 15 minutes. And he, that's how I see him becoming. And that's a lot of the ways, or if, though I say he's played a lot because of the injuries we had. And I see the same with Vardy. And I would be so loath to let him go.
Yeah, I suppose sometimes when you've had a player around the camp for quite a couple of years, you start to, sort of, he's not just a player anymore. He's part of the foundation.
Yeah.
And it's, how do I word it? You sort of, as you say, you get that affiliation with a player, and he's, as you said, he's old school. Which should fit completely well with what we've got. We've sort of got that sort of really good grounding. Yeah, very. That's what we are. We are the old school.
Yes.
But I just like it. I like this signing, the link. When I saw it this morning through like half an eye, it was. I almost was like, what? Really?
Yes. That wasn't my thoughts, but I can't say what mine were. As I say, we've got Daka, who's the striker. We've got Samari, that central midfielder. It looks like we're going to get Bertrand in, which is great because he'll be cover for. Now we've lost Fuchs, he'll be cover for Luke Thomas. So I think he's going to be our left back moving forward. He's got great, despite the Chelsea fan I was speaking to early, Ankit, who I know is in the thing, who said that Leicester asked if Leicester have an academy. Yes, he was one of our academy players, Ankit.
Is that Luke Thomas related to the George Thomas that you had?
No.
No.
But, and we have got some good young players coming through. And my mind's gone blank, but we have Dewsbury Hall. I mean, he's been on loan at Luton for a season. He's brilliant. If we are going to buy anybody else, it is going to be for that right field position. I think if we get somebody in, because obviously we had under last season, like I say, he promised so much, but failed to deliver. We've all had nights like that, haven't we? And excuse me. So he's gone. If we were to buy somebody, like I say, in that position, with Piera, and then Marc Albrighton came to us and said, "Look, boss, I'm not going to get the game time. I'd like to go." Yes, I can see us saying, "Well, thanks for everything you've done," but I think we've got to get that basically that person in first for me before we let him go.
Yeah, and it's like you just said, it's going to be all about what the player wants. At that stage of his career, obviously, your manager's got to be a bit understanding of what you want.
Yeah.
It's a case of if I want to play longer and enjoy my football, I need to move on. I don't want to just be somebody that's springing from the bench.
No.
I want to be somebody that can start a game and make an impact from the first whistle.
Yes.
But you don't know whether you're guaranteed that. Obviously, it depends on your it depends on your demeanour in training, how you come across as a person, your ability compared to everybody else. Obviously, he is a really good player, and as you say, I mean, we're signing a 31-year-old, but not just any 31-year-old, a title-winning 31-year-old who, as I say, even a 4-year contract on a free transfer back in 2014.
Yeah.
So any sort of return, even off a player that is 31 years of age and came in on a free, any sort of return is a bonus. We saw the same with Tom Heaton. Tom Heaton came in on a free. We turned him into an absolute wonder keeper, and I think we sold him too cheaply to Villa, to be honest. But at the end of the day, they didn't use him in the end, did they, because of injury? So
he's gone to United now, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
God, another good Ollie signing there. And they're accusing you of signing old players. But I mean, he's got a year on his contract. So looking at that, because of the servant that he's been to the club, and he has been a great servant to the club, we might say, well, look, stick with us for one more season while whoever we bring in beds in, and then you can go on a free. And maybe he'll I don't know if he'll drop down a league or not, but I mean, he's made 201 appearances for us, and his 11 goals. He's not a striker. His 11 goals are great. He scored it in the Champions League, but it's his crossing ability. Yeah. But this is what, and I've no disrespect to Burnley here, and I would say this, but he's won a Premier League medal, an FA Cup medal. He's played in the Champions League and the Europa League for Leicester. And I dare say, really, really, really don't. And I know we laugh and joke and have a bit of banter.
Yeah.
But what can Burnley offer him now, moving forward? A relegation battle?
Well, I don't know. I think this, depending on what we do this summer, I mean, we do need a mass overhaul. Like I say, the new chairman's come in. Said that there'll be money to spend, etc. And I was just going back to what you said then regarding, stay another year and we'll see what happens. If Marc was to turn around to, speaking like I know him, if Marc was to turn around to
your mate Marc,
yeah, my mate Marc was to turn around to your mate Brendan and just say, but it's one of them where if he says, look, what if I end up getting an injury that could end my career? And I've only had 15 minutes from the bench, and the reason I have got injured is because I'm not getting that game time.
Yeah,
it's because I'm just sat here, and then I'm supposed to just spring on and do something. I'm not I'm not a spring chicken. I am 31 years of age now. I need, who's to say the clubs are going to be there? What if it gets to January and it's like, right, no, I'm not sitting here just wallowing away. And plus, like I said, the age, the sentiment, I get that. I do. I completely do.
The interesting thing that could set a precedent. A couple of things here. First of all, Jamie Vardy is, like I say, he's I think 32 now.
Yeah.
Somebody will correct me. But he, I think, moving forward, he knows he's coming towards the twilight of his career. Next season, I think, will be his final season, as in being a starter, if you like. And I think that Daka's come in, and unless there's injuries, like with Fofana when we brought him in, he wasn't supposed to play as many games as he did, but injuries And thank God, he came through, and my God, what a player. But I think Vardy knows, and then next season, he'll have that decision to make. But I think he may want to stay and be that super sub that comes on again, like I say, against the knackered defence with 15 minutes to go, and you've got Vardy coming on, But you also look at how we treated Christian Fuchs. I mean, it was almost like Christian Fuchs was stopping at the Hotel California because he signed in and we wouldn't let him go. Every year he said, "I'll stay for one more year. I'll stay for one more year." And this year he did get a lot of games, but again because of all the injuries. But Marc Albrighton might look at the Christian Fuchs situation and say, "Yeah, they treated him okay." He got the games because there are 4 games, 4 competitions we're in now. I really don't. But I just wonder. Do players these days look at, stay at Leicester, might get Champions League next season, look at the players that are coming in, but I might not get regular game time, or go to Burnley, who, like I say, no disrespect, but you finished in quite a bad position this time, but I might get regular game time. It's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, as you said, it's almost like a last chance saloon. Yeah. The only difference is if he was to come in, we need to sort of do it now, get that pre-season under his belt, get used to playing in that sort of Burnley way and everything else. He's always struck me as a very good player. I can understand why you'd be sort of disappointed to let him go.
Even at 31, and we've been where you've been. I can remember sort of many years when I was living in Burnley. We were both in the second tier, and it was. We saw some bad Leicester teams. I'll tell you. We had some great names playing for us. We had Celez Ferdinand, or Celez as we like to call him. And we had some Martin Keowns, but they were all coming to us at the end of their career. Yeah. And I used to say that we turned into the Derby and Jones club of football. It was, I don't think I can play anymore. Oh, Leicester will sign me. It was, so you have to be careful that you don't start signing two older players. But it's interesting to see the fact that you would absolutely welcome him there.
Yeah, we've always Burnley have always struck me as a team that like to play. Down the channels, get the ball in, and we've seen that with McNeil because it showed a precedent when he was. Everyone was labeling him as this wonder kid because he was just walking. He was just looking like he was walking. He was just pelting up and down wing. He was taking it right up to the bar line. It wasn't a case of I'll try and whip one in early. I mean, he has got that in his locker, but he likes to take people on and try and get in there and try and find, big man up top. But, we've had that when we had players like Wade Elliott on the right midfield. I mean, towards the end, people started getting a bit peed off with Wade Elliott because he started trying to cut inside and have a pop himself. Or we used to think, why is there all this space on this right-hand side? Why do you keep drifting into centre? What's going on?
Yeah.
But, he's a cracking little winger, is Marc Albrighton. And as I say, I can really understand why you'd be disappointed to see him go. But we would welcome him with open arms. In fact, I'll even say a statement now that if he signs, I could see him almost becoming an instant fan favourite.
He's great. He puts his heart. I mean, this is the thing with him. He has bad games like everybody else does, but I've never. I hate to say this, but fans will be fans, and we, when Inacho used to come on, we used to groan. We would never boo him or anything, but that was before he hit this marvelous, goal scoring streak, and we all thought the sun shone out of his arse. But Marc Albrighton gives 100%. He will run through that brick wall for you. And I'm not sure who this is. It's Facebook user here. He's not said his name. Let me just see if I can read it up. Chris Wood. He's on about Chris Wood being moved away. I mean, I can imagine, and as you know, I don't know if you remember, I've said before, I think it was a big mistake. I would have loved
Yeah.
to have kept Chris Wood, to be honest with you. He didn't do anything wrong. It's just Vardy came through, and we had Nugent as well when he was surplus. But I can imagine Albrighton putting the crosses in for Chris Wood.
Yeah, again, another player that probably would have some sort of like maybe pulling power to bring him in. You know, if Marc Albrighton were to get on the phone and say, you know what, I've had talks. What do you guys think? Do you think I should come up? Do you think I should come down? As I say, yeah, I do agree with the person off Facebook said. You know, Chris Wood is another one of those players that he had the link with Villa. I mean, to be fair, I think everybody in the football league's been linked with Villa. You know, the football pyramid, everyone's got Villa in their sights. To be fair. I can't see us losing players like Chris Wood or Dwight McNeil to Aston Villa. Not a chance. Not when we're a club of sort of a similar stature in terms of the club and where we're at. Just because they've got a bit more of a spending power doesn't mean that they're any bigger. Because we saw that with Bournemouth. We saw that with Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Bournemouth had bags of money behind them under Eddie Howe, and I think they signed. I think it's Danuma or something like that.
Money doesn't guarantee you anything, does it? You know.
No.
The only good
go
thing
back to Joaquin Bailly at your place. 20 million, were it? 20 million for a striker that did absolutely nothing.
Five. Don't go. Bloody hell, we'd hate him more than we do now if it was 5. I've got to be honest with you, right? Joaquin Bailly, and we've got a show coming up on Tuesday night. Who was the worst manager for Leicester, Peter Taylor or Frank McClintock? For those that are of a certain age, and it's a tight thing as to who was the shitter, to be honest with you. But we bought Akinbaye from Wolves. Wolves held us out, to ransom for that. He was the most expensive player we ever bought. He gave 100% for that when he came on. And I was never going to argue with him because he was built like a brick shithouse, to be honest with you. But he couldn't hit a barn door from 2 foot, But when we bought him, Wolves were in the second tier. We were in the Premier League. Again, we bought him, but we didn't play to his strengths.
It's like, you do find that with some forwards.
It's like putting in Acho and saying, right, you're the new Vardy. He's not. He's Inacho. He's not. He can't play the same. And this is why we've been complaining about Inacho and saying, like, oh, what are you doing? Because we're comparing him to Vardy, but he isn't Vardy. And Akinbaye, we weren't playing to his strengths. And I can remember one day, it was when my son was mascot. I think I've told you a couple of times. Yeah. Both my sons were mascots for Leicester at Burnley. And I was waiting for my son, and Akinbaye came out. And I opened my shirt, like Superman, opened my shirt, and I had a Leicester top underneath. And his face for a minute, like, am I going to get stabbed? But lovely guy, had a chat, shook his hand, and it just didn't work out for him.
No. The one story I have about Akinbaye was we was at college one day, and we was at the back of Turf Moor. They had like the cafe claret and all that stuff at the back. Yeah. And they had like a gym upstairs and everything. And we were in there like doing fitness after lunch because I was doing like my FA level 1 in sports coaching.
All right. Yeah.
So we're up there doing fitness and stuff. To be fair, I'd been at pub across road at Parkview, and I tried to say that I weren't feeling too clever. It is, but it's it's reopened now, but I can't. No one barely goes in, to be fair.
No.
But yeah, it's still there. It's still about. But yeah, we went into gym, and we were all doing our bits and stuff, and then all players came in. Yeah, to gym, and all players just came in, right. And we were all like, "Oh, hold on a minute!" All these like pros are coming in, and they were like, "You're right, lads, you're right," and they were just down to earth with you.
Yeah. And
we had this one guy in our group that always tried to be a bit of the class clown. So anyway, we'd all finished in gym and stuff, and we were all stood out outside where this like cafe like sort of room were. So we're there, we've poured ourselves like a brew and stuff, and I had my bottle of Coke, and I just remember taking a swig and sort of just going, right, spat last bits in, put lid on, and put it in my pocket. Because my mate's like, oh, look at me, I can bench press all this, I'm Akinbaye. All of a sudden, Akinbaye tapped my mate on the shoulder and went, no, I'm Adi Akinbaye. My mate just went, bang, that was it, straight away. I don't think he touched a step on way downstairs. He literally just like flew. Ever since, we just ribbed him for it.
There was a picture of Akinbaye when he actually did score for Leicester, ripping his top off. My God. Like, yeah. I'm not surprised your mate ran. I tell you, I'm really not. But yes, yeah, we don't talk. Akinbaye, as we like to call him. Just going to end with this one, though. Rich asked this earlier, but I thought I'd save it until now. Do you think your teams will finish higher up the league next season? You've got to, haven't you, really? No disrespect.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think last season as well, 17th. For the run that we had and everything, and the results we were getting towards the back end of the season, I think 17th's a bit disappointing. Our performances really didn't justify that position. But the last couple of games, as I say, we were already on the beach after beating Fulham. So everybody, the games against Liverpool and Sheffield United that we'd lost, that's what sent us there, because we'd already thought, right, safety's in the bag, it's done. Wherever we finish, whatever. But yeah, it's sort of, there's got to be progression. I've always said 12th or 13th every season, it would be nice, comfortable position. Somewhere you'd expect to see somewhere like Palace or, Brighton and stuff with their amazing football under Graham Potter. God's sake.
or Patrick Vieira, for that matter.
Yeah. Well done, Vieira. Agent Vieira taking Palace down already. Nice one. But yeah, I think we do need. I think mid-table is what we've got to be aiming for. As I say, we need bodies in this year. Chairman needs to put his money where his mouth is, as he said. He said that the Nathan Collins signing, that was the first of many. Now I've seen that we've been linked with Darnell Furlong at West Brom. He's a right back. We've been linked with him. As I say, we've been linked with Marc Albrighton. We've been linked with some keeper from Werder Bremen, I think it were. Right. We just, I don't know where all these. I think it's just, you get a lot of paper talk, don't you? A lot of names
season,
get
isn't it?
Yeah,
it's silly season. I mean, would I hope to finish? I mean, I've got to be honest with you. It's easier on the heart to be finishing 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th every season.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of, but do I hope to finish higher than 5th? Yes. Do I think we will? Probably wait until the last week of the season and drop out of the top 4 again, knowing Leicester. I think that's our perennial thing to do. So, but hey, I've got to be honest with you. Seriously, with these signings that we're making, if we can hold on to the good players, and it does seem that Leicester seem to lose a good player. No disrespect to Marc Albrighton, but I'm talking about a Tillemans, and indeed he's somebody that we seem to lose one every year. But then we get offered silly money for them, and But if we can hold this group together, I think we can be top 4 next season. Definitely.
Why not? And if there's new signings work, then it's
yeah. I mean,
everything just.
Yeah, you can say, well, he's come from, Salzburg. It's the Austrian league, but he knows where the bloody net is. I'll tell you what impressed me as well, right? Bertrand, that famous French player from Southampton, I think Arsenal were interested in him. He's turned down Arsenal to come to Leicester. Daka, he could have gone, I think, Liverpool possibly, I think he was being linked with. But if he'd stayed at Salzburg, he could have got Champions League football, but he's come to Leicester where he's only going to get Europa League. Same with Samari. Played for Lille, won it at Lille. Yeah, they're probably going to lose a lot of players.
He's going to be an underrated signing for me this year. I think he's going to be one of those that a lot of people weren't sort of looking at. He's come in and he's going to be one of those, a bit like when Watford signed that. Is it Ismail Assar? And he's just going to turn out to be an absolute godsend for you. Yes. I mean, with the Daka signing though, does that rule out Odson Edard coming in?
Yeah, pretty much. I was just going to say, sorry, with Samari, just to finish, that he could have gone to Man United, which would have given him Champions League football. I say he could have gone. The rumours were that they were in for him.
Yeah.
Not saying they were. But he could have gone there and probably got Champions League. He hasn't. He's come to Leicester. And so there's something that Leicester is at the moment that people are saying, I'm actually going to go to Leicester for Europa than Liverpool or Man United for Champions League. In regards to Edouard, yes, I think he's probably going to go to Arsenal now because they were after him. I think Celtic still don't really want to do much business with Brendan Rodgers. I think there's a bit of that maybe at the back of it still, but
bit of bitterness.
They didn't want to sell him last year, so obviously his value's gone down because he's only got a year left on his contract. I think basically what Leicester have said is, look, are you going to sell him to us or not? You're messing us about. Hang on, we're fed up with waiting. We'll go and get Daka instead. So I don't think we're going to. I mean, 4 strikers. Do you need 4 strikers? We've got when Barnes comes back and Maddison gets his form back. We're going to get goals from them as well. Tillerman strikes a nice ball, FA Cup. And so, we have got goals in the rest of the team. So, yeah, I think Edouard is off the scale now. What we might do, actually, I do want to get another right winger in, which may or may not see Albrighton go. I think if we do get one in, he's more likely to go. Tarkowski.
Yeah, I was going to mention it.
It won't go away, will it?
No, and I don't think it'll go away up until deadline day. To be honest,
yeah.
I'm starting to think with the Tarkowski thing that is it a case of if we can get bodies in and have a really good successful season, will he stay? If he does stay, I don't see him signing a new deal. I think he'd go on a free next year.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's gone sort of from our side. It's gone sort of quiet.
Yes.
So I don't know. That can sometimes be a bit dangerous because it goes quiet and then boom, out of nowhere, he's gone.
I mean, the problem we've got at our end is that we've got Fofana, Evans, Soyuncu, and they tend to be the 3 if we play, with 3 at the back. If we play 4, it's of course any 2 of them. Fofana, hopefully, fingers crossed, should be back. He got injured at the end of the season, which meant.
Do you think he'll go to Real Madrid?
I think if Real Madrid come in for him, it will turn his head. It's bound to, let's be honest with you.
Of course it is.
There's pecking orders, and I'm not stupid enough to say, I know, and we always joke with Maguire, Man United, thanks for the 80 million, but they had to pay what we wanted before we let him go. So Madrid will have to pay up for him. Not that I don't think that'll be a problem for Madrid, but these clubs, Man United, Liverpool included, have got the name. They've got the draw that Leicester haven't. We're getting there, but we haven't. If Real Madrid come in for him, yes. But will they come in for him this season? He's only had 1 season. And, let's be honest with you, we've all seen players at all our clubs, 1 season wonders.
Yeah.
Injuries are never quite the same when they come back. I don't think he will be. We didn't expect to play him as much as we did, and we had to because of the injuries we'd got to our team, and he stood up to the mark.
It's strange with defenders as well, isn't it? Because it sort of depends who you're partnered with as well. Yes. Because if you could take Fofana out now and putting it side of Sergio Ramos, and all of a sudden you could see weaknesses that you never knew Real Madrid ever had.
Yes,
you could. Yeah. It's same with us. To be fair, I think losing Tarkowski, he's a decent player, but losing Ben Mee would be bigger just because of what he's done. That we've had Michael Keane at the side of Ben Mee, turned him into an England international. The same with Tarkowski.
Yeah,
Nathan Collins could come in, 20 years of age, and break into the Irish setup. Yeah. So there's so much potential there, and
I mean, I'm just looking. I'm just looking at our defenders here. We've got James Justin. And
he's decent. He's decent.
He is. Again, he's still out for a while, so we've got to think about that coverage. And of course, not long after the season starts, Europe starts, so we have got to think we need the cover. But he's more of a right or left. You know, if we go back to the 4, which I think we will do next season, probably go back to the 4 once we get the players back. Justin will be on the left or the right. He won't be in the centre. So you've got Fofana, Soyuncu, and Evans. They're your 2 of 3. Amartey, oh God! I mean, Amartey he can play as well as throw things over his shoulder and upset people. He can play pretty much. He's quite versatile. He can play around the place, but whenever he gets on the ball, your heart misses a beat. Do you know what I mean? So he's done all right, and then you've got Piera, but I think again he'll go up into that Albrighton sort of role. But again, he's a winger. Castagne's a winger, and Luke Thomas is a winger. So we've really only got those 3 plus Amartey. And indeed, if we need to, because he can play centre-back and he has played centre-back for Nigeria and for us as well. But obviously, by taking him and putting him back in the back 4 or back in defence, you're losing what he can bring you in midfield. Evans is getting on his little bit now. You know, still a great buy. I mean, we paid $3 million.
Oh, we'll be linked with him next.
Let's just see if he's old enough for you. No, he was born in 88. Well, I don't know what that makes him. I can't.
Oh, that means 80s. He's still too young. Too young.
Yes, yeah. I think you find that. So we like I say, if he gets injured, as he did again at the end of the season, it's going to take him that bit longer to get fit. So what I like about Tchaikovsky is he's got the experience. He's been there. He's been in Europe with you. He's been, up the top half of the table with you. He's been around the Premier League. I believe he's got 1 season to go on his contract. Yeah. So again, he becomes that little bit cheaper. I wanted him when we signed Fofana. Don't get me wrong, I'm bloody glad we signed Fofana. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind nicking him from you. And I think he might not necessarily be a regular starter. But again, like we just said with Albrighton, would he want to stay with you? And again, I'm no disrespecting to you, but a team that is in that at the moment, that bottom half of the table, or be part of a squad where he'll possibly see, because we'll get injuries, we'll get suspensions, but you'll see a top 4, top 5 position, hopefully, and he'll see European football. Could you see him making that switch?
This sort of just what came into my head then was pretty much about similar to when Nathan Dyer went to you guys on loan from Southampton. And I was just thinking, right.
Swansea, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was Swansea. Sorry, he started his career at Southampton.
Yes.
That's where we loaned him from.
For a minute there, you may have seen the confused look on my face. You're getting him mixed up with that French player, Bertrand.
But yeah, he's a player that Swansea and Leicester probably at that point weren't, as 2 Premier League teams at the time, weren't really pulling anything up. Nobody knew that Leicester were going to go on that run. Nobody.
If we did, we'd have all had a bet on it.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I mean, it comes to something when, the big headline was Leicester winning the Premier League, and then under that, the bloke who put money on it happening.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what I mean. It's it strikes me sort of similar to the Nathan Dyer move, because he was sort of out of favour at Swansea because you had people like Wayne Routledge still pretty much in their prime.
Yeah.
They had Bafétimbi Gomes, Fleming Michu, if we're talking about 1 season wonders.
Yeah.
So it was sort of out. He was sort of out there, and he came in like underrated, came straight into your side, and has just walked in, with this medal around his neck, back at Swansea, and just gone. Like,
we had a couple of players like that. We had what was the left back called? Richie Delat. And we'd actually let him go halfway during the season, and it was Antwerp, I think. And then he just came back just to pick his medal up. To be honest with you, I think had we not won the league, we may have signed Nathan Dyer on a permanent, because again he was one of those 4 foot nothing, but he gave it his all. He'd die for the badge, as they say. But I think because we won the league, we kind of set our sights a little bit higher. And God, did we buy some rubbish then? But Slimani, I like Slimani, if I'm fairness, and I love Musa, and I think it was a big shame Musa went. Look, hey Dan, thanks so much for coming on.
Hey, not a problem.
You know, we'll swap you Albrighton for Tarkowski. How about that?
You know, stick a 10 mil in there then, alongside it.
Don't know about that. We'll negotiate for the club show, you know.
Yeah, why not?
And we'll see you back tomorrow night. You very kindly said you're going to come on the semi-final review and get your predictions in and what have you. So we'll see you at 7 o'clock tomorrow. Once again, give us a shout out for your channel, mate, because honestly, mate, I laugh so much at you, whether you burp or not.
I love how you say at me and not with me.
I can tell your wife's not tuning in this time. Oh, she might be.
No, she's just got back from shopping.
See, send the wife out shopping. That's what. It is a great channel. You're a laugh, mate. I love coming on yours and having you on mine. Give it a shout out, mate.
First of all, cheers for having me on, Chris. Honestly, thank you very much. Marc Albrighton. If you want to see what a decent Burnley fan channel, head over to Turf Moor-house at Turf Moor-house on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And Instagram. I didn't even mention Instagram. So yeah, we're on Instagram as well. We're all under the same name at Turf Moor-house. Just come along, please like and subscribe and do all that fancy stuff. But thanks again for having me on, Chris.
Hello, is that James? Yeah, don't stick at Burnley. They're going down. Come to a team that'll give you European football. Yeah. Sorry, I was just my mate James there. Thanks so much for coming on. Like I say, it is silly season at the moment, but we wouldn't have it any other way, would we?
No, would we heck?
No.
Would we heck?
No. And I will see you tomorrow. And if you have missed the link, Dan's link is in the description underneath on YouTube, so you can click on that and give him a sub. Do it now. Thanks very much, mate. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Cheers, pal. See you tomorrow.
Cheers. Bye-bye. So, cut him off in his prime there a little bit. And thanks to Dan for coming on. Honest, yeah, I mean, they'd take Albrighton, but I don't want to see him go. So I tell you what, I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to say we want to keep Albrighton, and I also want to buy Tarkowski as well. Am I being greedy?
Unbelievable, Jeff.
It certainly is. So we'll be back. Got 2 shows tomorrow, 1 o'clock. And I couldn't mention this because Dan's too young to even know who this is. I'll be speaking to Dave Bartram, who used to be the lead singer of Show Waddy Waddy. And if you're of a certain age, you're thinking, who the hell is Show Waddy Waddy? Google Show Waddy Waddy, Under the Moon of Love. Was nearly Christmas #1 till Johnny Mathis knocked them off it. But they were #1. Show Waddy Waddy, loads of hits. Big Leicester fan. Used to play his music down the Filbert Street. We'll be speaking to him 1 o'clock tomorrow, and then 7 o'clock tomorrow. Hopefully, Dan. God, this is going to be confusing. I'm going to have 2 Dans on tomorrow. We'll be looking at the semi-finals of the Euros. Yeah, we're there. See you then. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all their social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
But the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share and get involved. Join us next time.